The City of Liberty Hill has undertaken a process to create a plan to guide the future of the city itself and its legal jurisdiction outside of the city. This is called a comprehensive plan, and this project will continue through 2023. This video is the second in a series designed to communicate some of the concepts that the plan will be addressing. So what exactly is a comprehensive plan? Well, leading a city is a daunting task. A well-conceived plan aims to assist in that task by outlining an all-inclusive picture of the city's needs and desires. It summarizes the vision and values that are critical to the city, and it outlines a path forward. To get involved with the Liberty Hill 2040 plan or just to find out more, please go to lhtx2040.com. This video covers the fiscal effects of development itself. This subject is important because the rate and pattern of a city's development has a direct effect on affordability and the overall fiscal health of the city. First, some history. For thousands of years, really since humans began to build communities, villages, and towns, and lasting until about World War II, communities were built incrementally in a compact, walkable pattern that prioritized a human scale of development. This meant that because there was little or no access to powered transportation, day-to-day needs had to be met within walking distance. Specific elements you found in this development pattern were compact, walkable grids of streets, residential and commercial uses mixed throughout the city, flexible and resilient buildings which would adapt to the market and needs as they changed, and development that followed people and resources. There was often little debt involved, and the private sector bore most of the risk of development. Things changed dramatically after World War II. The widespread acquisition of first one and eventually multiple automobiles per household, and housing programs of the 50s and 60s initiated a paradigm shift in development. We switched to developing large areas of land all at once and to a finished state. As distance began to be less of a limiting factor when accomplishing daily tasks, development spread out, and uses like homes and businesses were separated into different geographic regions. Modern zoning was a tool used to accomplish this. We began to see larger lots and much more infrastructure being built to account for a lower density of human settlement. This spread out pattern necessitates more travel by vehicles. And this also creates more car trips and ultimately wider and bigger roads overall. This results in primarily an auto-centric design. The taxpayer is then on the hook to maintain these pieces of infrastructure in perpetuity. Ultimately, this development pattern and its massive infrastructure costs can hurt your city's bottom line. For the last 70 years, most cities have prioritized fast growth without fully considering the long-term costs to their fiscal bottom line, and instead accept an illusion of wealth provided by recent development as an unending guarantee for the future. That simply is not the case. Consider the return provided by a fast-growth suburban development period. As new developments come in, new tax base is being created, and the city begins to see major cash inflow to its balance sheets. These green lines show those developments being created. But this kind of growth won't continue forever, and eventually it will begin to slow. Now, things look fine until the oldest infrastructure begins to near the end of its life and needs major repair or replacement. These red lines show the end of the first life cycle of these 20-plus-year-old developments. But this suburban development pattern is not producing enough to cover those costs. So as the bill comes due for other aging pieces of infrastructure that a generation ago were seen as a major boon to the budget, things begin to look dire. And when those pieces of infrastructure are beginning to enter their third or fourth life cycle, shown here in purple, the city is likely to be in over its head. This is in stark contrast to the traditional development pattern, wherein costs were aligned with the city's growth, and wealth grew along with the city incrementally over time. Cities built in the suburban auto-centric pattern are burdened with massive service and infrastructure liabilities without sufficient revenue to address them. Additionally, building in a more spread out pattern drives up the cost of housing for residents and makes it much harder for a community to find a true sense of place. In our next video, we will begin to discuss the value of these differing development patterns and strategies to increase the tax productivity of that development. Thanks so much for watching. To stay updated about the comprehensive plan, please visit lhtx2040.com.